My child, give me just 1 minute. Do not scroll past this. Do not tell yourself you will come back when it is quieter, when you feel more ready. That time is now. I am not asking for much. I am not asking without reason. I have been waiting for you, not for a perfect prayer, not for a long devotion, but for your attention. Something is different tonight. Something has been building, a pressure on your heart. What I must tell you will change everything, but only if you listen. Now, not tomorrow. I know how quickly your mind moves. I know how easily you postpone, saying you will return when you have more strength, when the noise fades. But hear me, silence is no longer safe for your spirit. You have reached a point where continuing without listening will cost you more than pausing ever could. I see your tiredness. I see the thoughts, the responsibilities, the quiet worries you share with no one. I see you stretched thin, unsure how much more you can carry. That is precisely why I ask for 1 minute, not to burden you, but to meet you, not to demand effort, but to give direction, not to overwhelm you, but to steady you. This minute is not about time, it is about alignment. I ask for 1 minute because what I am about to place into your spirit is the answer you have been crying for without words. You have asked me questions in the quiet. You have looked for signs. You have wondered if I was still listening, still near, still involved. Your heart has been speaking. I have heard it all. I waited patiently, not from distance, but from care. I did not want to speak before your heart was ready to hear without fear. But now the waiting has done its work. Your questions have ripened. Your weariness has softened you. This moment has arrived not by accident, but by design. You may feel a tension inside, a pull to listen and a pull to move on. That tension is not confusion, it is recognition. Your spirit knows this is for you. The enemy would prefer you stay busy, distracted, numb. He does not need to fight you directly if he can keep you from listening deeply. That is why this moment matters. I am not speaking because you have failed. I am speaking because you matter. I am not calling out of anger. I am calling out of love. There are things ahead of you that require clarity, and clarity begins with listening. There are decisions forming that will shape your peace, and peace begins with alignment. I do not want you walking forward carrying confusion when I am ready to give you direction. You think 1 minute cannot make a difference? 1 minute of listening can change a lifetime of wandering. 1 minute of attention can open a door you have been knocking on for months. 1 minute of stillness can quiet fears that have shouted for too long. You have been trying to hold everything together, how you keep going even when unsure, how you tell yourself you are fine when something inside knows you are not. You have been strong, but strength without rest becomes heavy. Faith without reassurance becomes fragile. That is why I ask you to stay, just now. Type, "Jesus, you are my steady hand," if he has been your shelter. This is not about earning anything. You do not need to prove your devotion. You only need to be present. I already know your heart, your fears, your questions. What I want is to remind you, you are not alone in any of it. Tonight is different because something has shifted. The season you have been in is ending, and the next cannot begin in confusion. I am preparing you to move forward with peace instead of panic, with trust instead of doubt. But preparation begins here, in this moment of listening, before any outward change takes place. You may have felt I was quiet. You may have wondered if you waited too long, or if you heard me correctly in the past. I am here to reassure you. I have not changed my mind about you. I have not forgotten your prayers. I have not lost track of your life. Please, stay with me. Do not rush away. Let your breath slow. Let your thoughts settle. You do not need to have everything figured out to listen. You do not need to be calm to receive peace. You do not need to be confident to be guided. You only need to be willing. This minute is a gift, not a demand, an invitation into clarity, not a warning. I am not here to frighten you with urgency, but to focus you with love. What I am about to speak into your life will not confuse you, it will steady you. It will not burden you, it will lift you. It will not rush you, it will align you. You have been asking for an answer, longing for confirmation, hoping for a peace that lasts longer than a moment. That is why I am here. Your answer is not far away. It is not hidden. It is not for someone else. It is here, waiting for you to listen. Stay with me, my beloved child. Give me this moment. What I must tell you will change everything, not because your life will suddenly become perfect, but because you will no longer walk forward unsure of my presence or my guidance. I am here, I am speaking, and I want you to hear me. I ask for 1 minute because I see how full your life has become, how little space you have left inside, how every day pulls at you from every side, your mind crowded with responsibilities, worries, plans, endless questions. I am not unaware of your exhaustion. I am not blind to your distractions. I am not distant from your overload. That is precisely why I ask for intentional attention, not prolonged effort. 1 surrendered minute is enough when given with honesty. You have been living in a constant state of giving, your time, energy, thoughts, strength. Even when your body slows, your mind keeps running. You tell yourself you will pause later when things settle, but they rarely do. I know this. That is why I do not ask for what you cannot give. I ask for what you already have but rarely protect, your attention. This minute is not about duration, it is about direction. 1 minute turned toward me can do more than hours spent distracted. You have been trying to figure things out by thinking harder, moving faster, pushing through, but transformation does not begin with effort. It begins with surrender, and surrender does not require much time. It requires willingness. Please support this work dedicated to bringing encouragement and devotion into your life. If you feel led, you can donate through Super Thanks. My child, you are tired because you have been carrying too much alone. You have been strong so long you forgot how to rest without guilt. You function under pressure, but pressure was never meant to be your permanent home. I see how your heart has become guarded, not because you stopped caring, but because caring deeply while exhausted is painful. I ask for 1 minute because I want to reach you before weariness convinces you that numbness is safer than hope. I am asking because I am near. This request does not come from pressure, it comes from love. Pressure demands, love invites. Pressure overwhelms, love understands. I understand where you are. I understand what you carry. You think 1 minute is too small to matter? You forget who is asking. When your heart turns toward me, even briefly, the atmosphere shifts. When your thoughts quiet long enough to listen, your spirit begins to breathe again. You do not need to solve everything in this minute. You only need to stop running and let me speak. There is power in a single moment when it is surrendered. I have changed lives in moments shorter than this. I have brought peace in the space of a breath. I have restored hope in the pause between tears. You do not need to prepare yourself for me. You do not need to gather strength or clean yourself up emotionally. I am not waiting for you to be calm. I am waiting for you to be present. This minute is divinely timed. It arrived because I know when your heart is ready to receive without resisting. I know when your strength has reached its limit. I know when words spoken earlier would have felt like pressure instead of comfort. I waited until this moment because this moment can hold what I want to give you. You have been living with a low hum of tension inside, not always loud, but always present. It shows up when things go quiet, when you are alone with your thoughts. That tension is not a failure, it is a signal, your spirit telling you it needs alignment, not more effort. I am not asking you to change your life in this minute. I am not asking for overwhelming commitments. I am asking you to let me meet you where you are. 1 minute of honest listening is enough to begin healing what has been strained. 1 minute of intentional attention is enough to remind your soul it is not alone. You have been afraid that stopping will make things worse, that if you slow down, the weight will rush in. But slowing down with me is not the same as stopping alone. I do not let the weight crush you. I help you carry it, and often I lift it completely. You have been surviving by staying busy. I am inviting you to live by becoming present. This request comes from love, because love sees what is hidden. Love sees the cost of continued exhaustion. Love sees the quiet ways you are fading inside while still showing up outside. Love does not wait until you break. Love intervenes gently before that happens. That is what I am doing now. I am not interrupting you to demand. I am interrupting you to care. You may feel unworthy of this attention. You may think you should be stronger, more faithful, but I do not measure you the way you measure yourself. I see your heart. I see how hard you try, even when tired. I am not disappointed in you. I am concerned for you, and concern rooted in love always acts. This minute is sacred, not because of its length, but because of its purpose. It is a doorway, a pause where truth can enter without being rushed out. A moment where I remind you who you are and who you belong to. A moment where fear loosens its grip and peace begins to settle. You have been carrying questions you cannot answer, fears you do not voice, holding them tightly, hoping time will solve them. But some things are not solved by time. They are healed by presence. And presence begins when you stop long enough to receive it. That is why 1 minute matters. I am not here to take more from you. I am here to give. I am not asking for your strength. I am offering mine. I am not asking for your certainty. I am offering clarity. I am not asking for your perfection. I am offering peace. And all of that can begin in 1 surrendered minute. So stay here with me. Let go of the rush, just for now. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breath slow. You are safe. You are seen. You are loved. This minute is not small. It is the beginning of something gentle and true. And I am here with you, fully present, waiting not to pressure you, but to restore you.
You may not realize how many times I protected you during your silence, how many paths I held back, how many decisions I slowed, how many moments I covered with grace. I did not abandon you to confusion. I stayed beside you, quietly guarding you until you were ready to hear without fear. My child, heaven's waiting has never been empty. It has been filled with care, patience, hope. Not that you would perform better, but that you would eventually rest enough to listen. And now you are here. Now you are listening. That alone tells me your heart is not hardened. It has been weary, but it has remained open. Your silence did not push you out of my will. It did not erase my plans. It did not diminish my love. I waited because I wanted your heart aligned, not dragged forward by force. I wanted your response to come from trust, not pressure. There is joy in heaven right now, not because you said the right words, but because you chose to listen, because you paused, because you turned your attention toward me. That is all I have ever wanted. Not perfection, just a willing heart. I am not angry about the time it took. I am grateful you are here now. I am not holding your silence against you. I am receiving your attention with tenderness. I have waited for you, not as a judge waiting to correct, but as a father waiting to embrace. I have waited with patience that does not expire, with love that does not weaken. And now that you are here, now that your heart is open, I am ready to continue with you. Heaven has been waiting, and heaven is ready to move with you, gently, faithfully, and without fear. My beloved child, I hear the quiet cry of your heart that no one else hears. It rises from a place deeper than words, deeper than thought, deeper than what you allow yourself to show. Others see your strength, your composure. I see what lives beneath. I see the ache you carry when the noise fades. I see the questions that return when you lie down at night. I see the tears you wipe away quickly so no one notices. Not one of those cries has gone unheard. There are nights your body is exhausted, yet your mind refuses to rest, replaying conversations, decisions, moments. You wonder if you said too much, too little, waited too long, moved too soon. You lie awake asking questions you do not know how to answer, sometimes not even knowing who to ask. In those moments, I am there, closer than the silence, nearer than your breath. You have prayed prayers that never made it past your lips, formed sentences in your heart and stopped, unsure how to finish. Wanted to ask me why, but feared the answer. Wanted to ask me when, but grew tired of waiting. Wanted to ask me if, but were afraid to hope again. Those unfinished prayers did not disappear, they reached me whole, because I hear what the heart says even when the mouth stays silent. Loneliness has visited you in ways others do not understand, not always because you were physically alone, but because you felt unseen even among people, surrounded by voices yet isolated, smiling while distant inside, listening to others while wondering if anyone would ever truly understand you. That loneliness did not mean you were forgotten. It meant your heart was longing for a depth the world cannot give. I know there were moments you questioned your worth, wondered if your presence mattered, if your absence would be noticed. Those thoughts wounded you quietly, made you doubt yourself in ways you never spoke about. But hear me now, your value was established the moment I formed you. You are known completely by me, and that knowing is filled with love. You have struggled internally, conflicting emotions pulling you in different directions. Hope, then fear, faith, then doubt. You tried to make sense of it, but it left you confused and tired. You wondered why it seemed easier for others to be certain while you wrestled so deeply. That struggle is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of sincerity. Hearts that care deeply often feel deeply. I saw you on the nights tears came without warning, tears you didn't plan that surprised you with their intensity. You told yourself you were just tired, but something was breaking open. Those tears were not a failure, they were a release, your heart letting go of what it could no longer hold. Every tear was noticed, every tear gathered, none were wasted. You have carried unanswered prayers longer than you expected. At first, you prayed with hope, then with persistence. Then there were times you stopped altogether, not because you stopped believing, but because it hurt to keep asking. You wondered if silence meant no, if waiting meant rejection, if you were doing something wrong. Unanswered does not mean ignored. Waiting does not mean unwanted. Silence does not mean absence. I have been with you in the internal struggle you hide so well, the fight to stay hopeful when disappointment repeats, to trust when clarity feels far away, to believe something good is unfolding when you cannot see it yet. You have fought battles in your mind no one applauded, endured moments that never made it into stories you share. I have seen them all, and I am proud of your endurance, even when you did not feel strong.
There were times you felt ashamed of your pain, as if you should be past it by now. You told yourself you should be stronger, more faithful. You compared your heart to others and wondered why yours felt so heavy. But pain is not erased by comparison. Healing is not rushed by shame. I do not look at your struggles with disappointment. I look with compassion. Your heart has been crying out for reassurance, not always for answers. You wanted to know you were not alone, still seen, that the story was not over. Even when you couldn't name those desires, they rose within you like a quiet plea, and I heard them in the pauses between thoughts,
in the sighs released without reason, in the longing that followed you through your days. You have wondered if anyone truly knows you, if anyone sees beyond what you show. Hear me now. I know you completely. Your fears, your hopes, your questions, your faith, what excites you, what scares you. Nothing is hidden from me, and nothing about you causes me to turn away. The nights of overthinking did not weaken you. They revealed your desire for meaning. The silent tears did not diminish you. They showed your capacity to feel deeply. The loneliness did not define you. It pointed you toward a connection only I can fully provide. You are not broken because you feel these things. You're human, and you are loved. Every unspoken cry has reached me. Not one was lost in the world's noise. Not one fell short because you couldn't find the right words. I do not require perfect prayers. I receive honest hearts, and your heart has been honest with me, even when you tried to hide it from yourself. You do not need to carry this alone anymore. You do not need to wonder if your pain matters. You do not need to question whether your tears were seen. I am here with you now, just as I have been all along, not distant from your struggle, but present in it, ready to bring comfort, peace, reminder. You are deeply known, deeply loved. Stay with me. Let your heart rest in this truth. You have never cried alone. You have never struggled unseen. You have never been beyond my reach. My beloved child, tonight is different. Feel that truth settle gently into your spirit. This is not just another night blurring into the next. Tonight stands apart because something has shifted in the unseen, and you are standing at the edge of it. I speak now because the timing is right, not just around you, but within you. Your heart has reached a place where it can no longer be carried forward by habit alone. It needs truth, alignment, rest, and those things are meeting you here. You may not have noticed the shift at first. It did not come with noise. It came quietly, like a change in the air you feel before you can explain it. You sensed it as restlessness, a deeper weariness, a question that wouldn't leave. You sensed it as a longing that grew stronger instead of fading. That was not confusion. That was preparation. Your spirit recognizing something old ending, something new drawing near. Tonight is different because you are different. You have walked through seasons that stretched you, humbled you, stripped away illusions you once depended on. You learned what does not sustain you, what drains you, what cannot carry the weight of your heart. Even when you felt unsure, lost, those lessons were shaping you, making space inside for what I am ready to give. There is a divine alignment taking place you cannot see. Things are moving into place beyond your awareness. Hearts shifting, circumstances adjusting, paths clearing. I have been arranging details quietly, patiently, faithfully. And tonight marks where those unseen movements meet your awareness. That is why I speak now, why this reached you at this exact moment. This is not random. I do not speak by accident. I know the weight of your confusion. I know how tired you've become carrying questions without answers. If this moment were delayed further, weariness would deepen. Confusion left unaddressed becomes discouragement. Waiting without reassurance becomes heaviness. I intervene now because I do not want your heart to harden under uncertainty. Tonight is different because heaven has marked it. There are times patience builds strength, and times patience without direction drains life. You have reached the boundary between those two. Continuing in silence would not refine you anymore. It would only exhaust you.
So I speak now, not to rush you, but to rescue you from unnecessary weariness. Comment, Father, you are my song in the night, if he has been your comforter, and share this video. The shift is here. The alignment is now. Stay with me in this minute. Let change begin.